You know what? This game I was actually very excited to watch. I was highly disappointed that this game was not America's Game of the Week. Granted, we didn't have an America's Game of the Week, and I know probably they didn't think the Seahawks were going to be this good, but this was like the marquee matchup for the weekend for me. If you don't know, I've loved watching the Seahawks this year. Haven't watched a lot of the Rams, but we knew the Rams were good. They were flying up under the radar all season. But the big picture from yesterday's game, and this is not about to be a dump on Sam Darnold segment. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to go the opposite direction. Today showed me just a minor concern when it comes to Seattle. In the big game, will Sam Darnold not turn into a pumpkin? We saw yesterday, Sam Darnold threw 4 picks. And these were not picks that were, tipped up. It hit the head. It hit the helmet of the defender, popped up in the air, and it's caught for a pick. Or it's bad at the line of scrimmage and, tipped, and like the same thing what Jordan Davis did in Philly last night. No. Sam Darnold was hitting them in the numbers, and they were running it back for pick sixes yesterday. Those were the type of interceptions that Sam Darnold was having. Now, if we look at it in totality, the 3 worst games that Sam Darnold has played last year and this year, 2 of them have come from Sean McVay and the Rams. So you could say Chris Collinsworth and, not Chris Collinsworth, Colin Cowherd and John Middlecoff, and all these guys were pointing out like, hey, Sean McVay may have Sam Darnold's number. But if you really watch the game, and outside of the interceptions, I thought Sam Darnold played decent. I thought he played okay. I mean, he was 24 for 44, 279 yards, made a couple big throws, made a big throw there to Mbuka in the second quarter. He had some flashes, but the pressure got to him. That defensive line for the Los Angeles Rams, that front 7 they got is up there with the best of the league, literally with Philadelphia and Seattle. And this is another reason why this game was just phenomenal. It was good on good. Great defense versus great defense. Great offenses versus great offense. Like, it was a good game. And you really cannot take much from this game and really knock on Sam Darnold because you're playing the Rams. They're up there. I think the Rams are better than the Eagles, me personally. Even though the Eagles beat them, but the Eagles had to come up with a couple of blocked field goals to beat the Rams. I think the Rams are the best team in the NFC from top to bottom. I think they have the best quarterback in the NFC. I think they got the best wide receiver core in the NFC. And they can run the ball. So I'm not going to really kill Sam Darnold like a lot of people are today. I think Sam Darnold was able to make some plays. I mean, you still got Jackson Smith and Jigba. He still was able to get 105 yards receiving. And you only scored 19 points. And another thing is, and I cannot believe I forgot this. It might be on my next page. Actually, it is, and I didn't write it down. But you played this bad, and in the final drive, you gave your team a game-winning field goal opportunity to win the game. And if the Seahawks won this game, we would not be having conversations about how bad Sam Darnold was. Maybe some of us like me, who is a huge, sports analyst geek, and we get into that sort of stuff. But when you look at it from an average fan's point of view, and if you look at it from the Seahawks point of view, it's like, bro, Sam Darnold threw 4 picks, and we won the game. We'll take that all day. Because we know on a good day, that Seahawks offense, they're scoring 30. That Seahawks defense that they did it yesterday, they will strap you up. They literally held, I don't know the box score. Let's go back to the game cast. I don't know. Let me see. I think the Rams scored 1 time in the second half. If I remember correctly, it's not showing the box score. I don't know why. Did they score in the second quarter? Okay, yeah. They scored 1 time. 1 time in the second half. They scored 1 touchdown. I thought so. So, yeah. If you really are the Seahawks today, like, dude, this was a good litmus test for us. For Sam Darnold, we know. Look, I still like I like Sam Darnold. I can't wait to see him against the Rams again and the Niners because Sam Darnold is going to get more tests. He's still got a couple big games left on the schedule. So it's about to be a good litmus test going forward if Sam Darnold is going to be able to compete in the playoffs. We know he went pumpkin last year in the playoffs, towards the end of the season. I don't want that. I love the Seattle team. Y'all, they're my favorite team in the NFC. I don't, it's sad to say. I'd love to say that about my own team. But when I watch this team, they're just a fun watch. Great team to watch across the board. And, yeah. I'm not going to kill Sam Darnold today. You played a good team. You gave yourself and your team a chance to win. What more can you ask? From the Rams' point of view, the Rams of Sean McVay and Matt Stafford, they've been playing sneaky good football. That defense can absolutely get after you. I mean, when you from Bryce Young to Jared Verse, Fisk, and that front Turner, they just have a phenomenal front seven. Oh, excuse me, my dog's got to go out. Excuse me, I did not even realize my dog was in my room the whole time as she was. But yeah, they're just phenomenal across the board. Their question mark was their back end, but when you have a game like yesterday, that defensive line is so good and that front seven is just phenomenal that they can wreak havoc on your quarterback and force you to turn the ball over, and that just helps out your secondary. And we saw that yesterday with the Los Angeles Rams against the Seahawks. They rattled Sam Darnold. Got to Sam Darnold, disguised coverages, played mind games with Darnold, forced him to throw 4 picks. That is something that the Rams can do in the playoffs. Stafford's playing well. Didn't light it up this game. When you look at his stats, I mean, you got to think the Rams hardly had the ball for like an hour and a half. Stafford was 15 for 28. I mean, he only completed 54% of his passes harshly and threw 2 touchdowns. 45 quarterback rating and 89 pass rating. But the big alarming stat, and it's something that we harp about with Jalen Hurts and everybody else, 0 turnovers. You're not turning the ball over. So when you're not turning the ball over, you're not giving yourself a chance to lose a crucial close ball game like today, like yesterday. Kyron Williams, you were able to run the ball well. I love the guy. Outside of his little fumble problems here and there, he averaged 7.6 yards a carry, ran for almost 100 yards, had a touchdown. And we know how good Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams can be. Adams was dealing with a little injury, so he weren't really pretty productive. But they did what they needed to win. And my biggest takeaway from the NFC, if you really look at the Rams, Seattle, and Eagles, I still love the Seahawks, but the maturity and the experience of the Rams may just put them over the edge when it comes to playoff time. Seahawks are young. They have a young roster. Young receiving core. They're young across the board. So they're going to be here. They are going to be here for years to come. Not the case for the Rams. Just getting a little bit older. Matt Stafford, he's not a spring chicken. I really don't know if Matt Stafford would be probably good to play 2 to 3 more prime years of Matt Stafford. Because we're getting prime Matt Stafford. Like, Matt Stafford's been just lighting it up. In many cases right now, he may be people's MVP outside of Jonathan Taylor. He's in that discussion. But when you look at just these 2 teams today, I think they are just superior to me than Philadelphia. I just love these 2 teams. And they're both in the same conference. Like, I just love watching these 2 teams play. I really do. They are good football teams. So when I look at them, I have them over the hump in Philly. And that was my biggest takeaway from this game. I mean, 2 juggernauts. And we got it was a low-scoring game, but it was entertaining and a great watch.